You're throwing away hundreds of dollars a year, right now, every time you cook. And I'm not talking about meal planning or buying in bulk or any of that. I'm talking about the scraps, the onion ends, the potato peels, the herb stems, the stuff you scrape off your cutting board and toss without thinking. Because everyone's been taught that once you cut the good part off, the rest is garbage. It's not. There are 25 common kitchen scraps that, if you stop throwing them away, will regrow into completely free food. No seeds to buy, no trips to the garden center, just water, a windowsill, and a garbage can you stop filling so fast. And some of these, they're practically cheating. Scrap number 7 on this list produces food for years from a single piece you'd otherwise compost. And number 19 is one almost nobody thinks of, but once you try it, you'll never toss it again. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which scraps to save, exactly how to regrow them, and how to turn your kitchen waste into a free food supply that keeps giving month after month. Here's what most people don't realize. Plants want to grow. That's their entire job. The carrot top you throw away has living cells in it. That sprouted garlic clove in the back of your pantry, it's already doing the work for you. The potato that's gone soft and started growing eyes? That's not a sign it's gone bad. That's a sign it's ready to become 8 more potatoes. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through all 25, grouped into clusters so you can remember them easily. We'll start with the ones that regrow in days, then move into the heavy hitters that produce for months, and finish with the ones most people don't even know are possible. And stick with me to the end because there's one bonus tip, a single thing you can do when regrowing in water that doubles your success rate almost instantly. It's the closest thing to a cheat code I've ever found. Cluster 1, the Fast Regrowers, scraps 1 to 6. These first 6 are the gateway scraps, the ones you try first because they're so fast it almost feels fake. Number 1, green onions. Green onions are the easiest thing on this entire list. Save the white root ends, about an inch or 2, drop them in a small glass of water on a sunny windowsill. Change the water every couple of days. Within 2 to 3 days, you will see new green growth shooting up. By the end of the first week, you've got scallions long enough to snip and cook with. And here's the thing, you can keep harvesting from the same roots for weeks. For even better results, transplant those rooted ends into a pot of soil. They grow thicker, more flavorful, and last much longer. One bunch of store-bought green onions can supply you for months. You never buy green onions again. Period. Number 2, romaine lettuce. When you chop up a head of romaine, save that bottom stump. Place it cut side up in a shallow dish with about half an inch of water. Set it somewhere with good light. Within 3 to 5 days, brand new leaves start sprouting from the center. It feels like magic the first time you watch it happen. Now, the leaves you regrow in water will be smaller than the original. But here's the trick. Once the new growth is about 2 to 3 inches tall, transplant the whole thing into soil. You'll get a much more substantial flush. Butterhead and red leaf lettuce work the exact same way. Number 3, celery base. That thick bottom end everyone tosses is a gold mine. Cut the stalks about 2 inches up from the base. Place it cut side up in a shallow bowl. Within a week, tiny leaves emerge from the center. After 2 weeks, roots form on the bottom. That's your signal to transplant into soil. Celery is a heavy feeder and drinker, so keep the soil moist and fertilize every few weeks. The flavor of homegrown celery is dramatically better than store-bought. It's not even the same vegetable. Number 4, bok choy. Exactly like lettuce and celery. Cut the leaves about 2 inches from the base. Place it cut side up in shallow water. New leaves within 3 to 5 days. Transplant into rich soil after about a week. Bok choy is a cool season crop and does well in partial shade, which makes it perfect if your garden doesn't get full sun all day. Most varieties are ready to harvest in 40 to 60 days from transplant. Number 5, leeks. Save the bottom 2 to 3 inches of the leek with the root base intact. Place it root side down in a jar with about an inch of water. New green growth emerges within days. Transplant into soil for a more robust plant, or keep snipping greens in water. Leeks are surprisingly cold hardy and can overwinter in many zones with mulch. Number 6. Carrot tops. You can't regrow a full carrot from the top, but those feathery green leaves are completely edible and taste like a mild parsley-like herb. Fantastic in salads, pesto, chimichurri, and if you let the plant complete its life cycle in soil, it'll bolt and produce viable carrot seeds for the following season. So while the scrap won't give you a new root, it gives you greens now and seeds for later. Alright, those 6 are the fast ones. Days to results. Almost impossible to mess up. But the next cluster is where things get serious. These are the scraps that produce pounds of free food from a single piece. The potato in your pantry right now? It's not trash. It's a potato farm waiting to happen. Stick with me. Cluster 2. The heavy hitters. Scraps 7 to 12. These scraps produce real harvests. Pounds of food from what you'd otherwise throw away. Number 7. Potatoes. Ever left a potato in the pantry too long and found it covered in sprouts? Those sprouts are not a sign to throw it away. They're a sign you've got a free potato plant. Cut the sprouted potato into chunks. Each chunk needs at least 1 or 2 eyes with sprouts. Let the cut pieces dry for a day or 2 so the surface calluses over. This prevents rot. Plant them about 4 inches deep with the sprouts pointing up. Space them a foot apart. As the plant grows, mound soil or straw up around the stems. This is called hilling, and it encourages more tubers to form. One plant can yield 5 to 10 potatoes, and you started with a scrap. Use organic potatoes when possible. Conventional ones are sometimes treated with sprout inhibitors. Number 8. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes grow differently than regular potatoes. You grow what are called slaps. Suspend a sweet potato over a jar of water using toothpicks, bottom half submerged. In a couple weeks, roots form on the bottom and leafy slips grow from the top. When those slips are about 6 inches long, twist them off and put them in their own jar of water to develop roots. Then plant. One sweet potato can produce a dozen or more slips. Each slip becomes a vine that yields several pounds of potatoes. A huge harvest from a single scrap. Number 9. Garlic. Every bulb contains multiple cloves, and each clove can grow into a full new bulb. If a clove is already sprouting in your pantry, it's doing the work for you. Plant individual cloves 2 inches deep with the pointed end up, about 6 inches apart. Garlic is best planted in fall, 4 to 6 weeks before the first hard frost. Each clove turns into a full bulb of 8 to 12 new cloves, so one head of garlic can supply you for years if you keep replanting. And hardneck varieties produce scapes, those curly green shoots that are incredible in stir-fries and pesto. Number 10. Ginger. That knobby ginger root you buy is actually a rhizome, and it's ready to grow. Look for pieces with small bumps or nubs. Those are growth buds. Cut into sections, each with at least 1 or 2 buds. Let the cut surfaces dry overnight. Plant about 1 inch deep in a wide, shallow pot with the buds pointing up. Ginger is tropical, so it loves warmth and humidity. It grows beautifully in containers indoors in any climate. You can start harvesting small pieces after about 4 months. A full harvest takes 8 to 10 months. One store-bought rhizome can produce several pounds of fresh ginger over a single season, and you save a piece to replant and keep the cycle going forever. Number 11. Turmeric. Turmeric regrows almost exactly like ginger. They're closely related. Plant pieces with visible buds about 2 inches deep in rich, moist soil. It takes about 8 to 10 months to reach full harvest, but you can dig around the edges for small pieces earlier. The flavor and potency of fresh turmeric is leagues beyond the dried powder, and the plant has gorgeous broad tropical leaves that look stunning on a patio. Number 12. Onions. The papery root end of an onion. Press its root end down into a small pot of moist soil. Within a week, green shoots push up through the top. You won't get a full new bulb quickly, but you get continuous green onion tops for free from what you'd have swept into the trash. Left in the ground long enough, the bulb divides and swells into a modest new onion. We're halfway through. The next cluster is the one that surprises people most. Seeds you're throwing away right now that can grow into full-size vegetables. Tomato seeds, pepper seeds, squash seeds, and if you're getting value from this so far, hit that subscribe button. I put out new gardening videos every week and I would love to have you back. Cluster 3. Seeds to harvest. Scraps 1318. Every time you cut open a tomato, a pepper, or a squash, you're holding next season's entire crop in your hand. Number 13. Tomatoes. Slice a ripe tomato into quarter-inch rounds. Lay those slices flat on top of a pot filled with moist potting mix. Cover with about a quarter-inch of soil. Within 7 to 14 days, you'll see clusters of tiny seedlings. Once they're a couple of inches tall, transplant the strongest ones into their own pots. Roma, beefsteak, cherry, heirloom, they all work. Most varieties produce ripe fruit in 60 to 85 days from transplant. Number 14. Peppers. Scrape the seeds out of any pepper. Bell, jalapeno, habanero, serrano. Let them dry for a day or two. Plant a quarter-inch deep in moist seed starting mix. Keep them warm, ideally 75 to 85 degrees. They can take 1 to 3 weeks to germinate. Most varieties mature in 60 to 90 days. The cool thing is, every time you cook with a different pepper, you save the seeds and build a whole collection. Number 15. Butternut squash. Scoop those seeds out, rinse off the pulp, dry them for a few days, and store until spring. Plant about an inch deep in warm soil after your last frost date. Give them room to vine, at least 4 to 6 feet, or train them up a sturdy trellis. A healthy vine can produce 5 to 10 squash from one squash you bought at the store. Number 16. Pumpkin. Exactly like butternut squash. Those seeds you scoop out when carving or cooking are completely viable. Clean, dry, store until spring. Small varieties like sugar pie are perfect for backyard gardens. One pumpkin gives you hundreds of seeds, far more than you'll ever need. Number 17. Watermelon. Save the seeds from a seeded watermelon. Plant an inch deep in warm soil after frost. Watermelons demand full sun and serious space, at least 6 feet to sprawl. Most varieties mature in 80 to 100 days. You'll know it's ready when the tendril nearest the fruit turns brown and you get a deep hollow thump when you knock on it. Number 18. Strawberries. Take a ripe organic strawberry and slice off thin strips of the outer skin where all those tiny seeds sit. Lay those strips on top of moist seed starting mix. Keep the surface damp. Within 2 to 3 weeks, tiny seedlings emerge. Once established, strawberry plants send out runners, creating new plants for free. One regrow project turns into a whole strawberry patch over time. All right, the last cluster. Herbs and flavor bombs. These are the scraps that save you the most money per ounce because fresh herbs at the grocery store are outrageously expensive. And the best part? Most of them root in water in under a week. Plus, I promised you scrap number 19. It's in this group. Let's go. Cluster 4. Herbs and flavor bombs. Scraps 19 to 25. Number 19. Fennel. Most people have no idea fennel will regrow from the base. Next time you use fennel, cut the stalks about an inch above the base, keeping the root end intact. Place it in a shallow dish of water in a sunny window. Within a few days, new green fronds start sprouting from the center. Those fresh fennel fronds are loaded with flavor, a delicate anise note, perfect for garnishing fish, adding to salads, or tossing into pasta. If you transplant the regrowing base into soil, it'll continue producing fronds and may even develop a small new bulb over time. This is the one almost nobody thinks to save, and now you know. Number 20. Basil. Trim off stems about 4 inches long. Strip the lower leaves and drop them in water on a sunny windowsill. Within a week to 10 days, white roots develop. Transplant into soil. One bunch of store-bought basil can give you a dozen rooted cuttings. Fresh basil all season for the cost of a single purchase. Number 21. Cilantro. Almost exactly like basil. Fresh cilantro stems with a couple inches of stalk intact. Strip lower leaves, place in water. Roots within 1 to 2 weeks. Here's the tip with cilantro. Succession plant. Start new cuttings every 2 to 3 weeks so you always have fresh leaves. And when cilantro bolts and produces seeds, those seeds are coriander. Double duty from one scrap. Number 22. Mint. Mint is one of the most aggressive propagators in the plant kingdom. Roots appear within just 3 to 4 days in water. Transplant into a pot. And I mean a pot, because mint planted directly in the garden will take over everything. Spearmint and peppermint both root effortlessly. One store-bought bunch can produce 10 or more new plants. Unlimited mint for teas, cocktails, salads, and sauces. Forever. Number 23. Lemongrass. Look for stalks that still have the base with the little root nub visible. Trim tops to about 6 inches, place in a jar with about an inch of water. Roots develop within 1 to 2 weeks. Transplant into a pot. Within months, you'll have a gorgeous, fragrant clump. The flavor of fresh, homegrown lemongrass in soups and curries is worlds apart from dried. Number 24. Avocado. Clean the large pit, push 3 toothpicks into the sides, suspended over water with the flat bottom end submerged. Place in a warm spot with indirect light. Within 2 to 6 weeks, the pit cracks open and a taproot grows from the bottom, followed by a stem and leaves. Once the stem is about 6 inches tall with a few leaves, transplant into soil. Seed-grown avocados may take years to fruit, but they're stunning houseplants in the meantime. Number 25. Pineapple. Twist off the leafy green crown. Peel away a few lower leaves to expose the stem. Let it dry for a day. Root in water or plant directly into sandy, well-draining soil. It takes about 2 to 3 years for a container pineapple to fruit. But when that little fruit starts forming, it's absolutely thrilling. And until then, it's a gorgeous tropical houseplant. 25 scraps. Some give you food in days, some give you food for years. But there's one thing that makes the difference between a jar of thriving sprouts and a jar of rotting mush. And this is the bonus tip I promised you. When you're regrowing scraps in water on your windowsill, the single most important thing you can do, and I mean this, is change the water frequently, ideally every single day. At the very minimum, every other day. Here's why. Stagnant water is a breeding ground for bacteria. Bacteria attack the cut surfaces of your scraps and cause rot before roots ever get a chance to form. Fresh, clean water keeps oxygen levels high and bacteria levels low, giving your scraps the best possible environment to develop healthy roots. You can also add literally 1 drop of liquid seaweed fertilizer each time you change the water. This gives the developing roots a microdose of nutrients and natural growth hormones that speed up root development significantly. Daily water changes plus 1 drop of liquid seaweed. It's the closest thing to a cheat code for regrowing kitchen scraps. Try it and you'll see the difference almost immediately. So here's what you need to remember. Cluster 1. The Fast Regrowers. Green onions, romaine, celery, bok choy, leeks, and carrot tops. These give you results in days. Cluster 2. The heavy hitters. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, garlic, ginger, turmeric, and onions. These produce pounds of food from a single scrap. Cluster 3. Seeds to harvest. Tomatoes, peppers, butternut squash, pumpkin, watermelon, and strawberries. Stop throwing away next season's garden. Cluster 4. Herbs and flavor bombs. Fennel, basil, cilantro, mint, lemongrass, avocado, and pineapple. Some of the most expensive items at the store, regrown for free. And the golden rule. Change your water daily. 1 drop of liquid seaweed. That's it. The average household throws away hundreds of dollars of food every year. Not in leftovers, but in scraps that could have become more food. You don't need a bigger garden, you don't need more money. You just need to stop throwing away the parts that want to keep growing. If this helped you, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new videos every week helping you grow more food for less money. Now get out there and start saving those scraps.